Philippine Sports Commission, William Butch Ramirez, and the rest of the PSC family who are with us today. Commissioner Celia Kiram, Commissioner Arnold Agustin, Executive Director Merlita Ibay. Saan yung dalawa? Si Mon Fernandez and si Charles Maxi.
Si Commissioner Maxi nasa Hungary. He joined the handball team in Hungary. Si Commissioner Fernandez joined the karate team in Turkey.
Let me also acknowledge the presence of our Majority Floor Leader, Senator Mig Subiri. May we now request the Committee Secretary to read the record, the presence of our resource persons here. Committee Secretary, kindly.
Mr. Chair, for the budget of the Philippine Sports Commission for 2020, we have Chairman William I. Ramirez, Commissioner Celia H. Kiram, Commissioner Arnold G. Agustin, Ms. Merlita R. Ibay, the OIC Executive Director, and the others from the family of the Philippine Sports Commission, Mr. Chair.
We are here, let me acknowledge also the presence of Senator Bato de la Rosa. We are here for the briefing of the budget of the Philippine Sports Commission. Before we begin, let me first express my full support for the Philippine Sports Commission. As chairman of the Committee on Sports and a known advocate of Philippine sports, the budget for sports is one of my priorities. The Constitution itself recognizes the vital role of sports in fostering patriotism, nationalism, accelerating social progress, promoting total human liberation and development. As I have said time and again, sports has the unique capability of developing in our youth a sense of camaraderie and responsibility, while at the same time keeping them away from the evils of dangerous drugs and criminality. I have supported various programs and initiatives for the advancement of Philippine sports, from my all-out support as part of the delegation for Gilas, Pilipinas, just last month, finding ways to supplement the training of Hidelin Diaz in the continuing search for that elusive Olympic gold, to advocating for the establishment of a national academy for sports for high school. Salamat sa inyong tulong sa Philippine Sports Commission na maging reality po itong ating minimithing National Academy of Sports for high school. My love for sports is fueled primarily by my love for our country and our countrymen. That is why I shall defend the budget for sports as long as our government ensures that every centavo is directed towards achieving the goals as set out in the Constitution. I will fervently defend it as long as the people's money is put to good use, wisely spent, and used solely for the intended purpose. We will now hear the PSC budget presentation, and our questions will follow after the presentation. Kindly, Chairman, kindly.
Go directly to the budget. On page 22. Your Honor, together with my commissioners and executive director and other officers, this is the budget that we are proposing for 220. But before that, we'd just like to capture the discussion a while ago that the distinguishing factor between professional and amateur is no longer very clear today, because the amateur and the professional games have evolved. There are games in basketball at the NBA. boxing, golf, and others who are professionals and yet they are representing their own country to the Olympic Games. Yun po, nagbabago po yun. At nung araw, pag sinasabi mo na binabayaran ka, professionals. But pag nasa Olympics, hindi po totoo yun because even if we go back to the olden time, the old Olympia in Greece, in Cyprus, in Sparta, yung nananalo ng gold doon, umuwi na binibigyan ng bahay, laureate at saka pera. So historically, even during those time, meron ng mga distinguishing mark between professional and amateur. Okay. Now, for today's budget, forthcoming 220, this is our budget for personal services. We have a total of 71 million. Then for MOA, we have 106. Then for the special appropriation from the general fund, we have 29 million. And for 2020, capital outlay wala po. So total of 207,724 million for 2020. Ito pong PSA, by the law, is focused on two fundamental things, two mandates. One is for grassroots sports program. In a pyramidal structure, Your Honor, in a pyramidal structure, sa ibaba po, ang pinaka-base sa pyramidal sports development, yung sports for all local government units. Medyo, as of records, we have a series of activities throughout the country, pero maliit lang siya. Indigenous games, children's games, women's, consultative meeting, coaches education. As you go up to the pyramid structure, we have grassroots sports program, talent identification sa basic school sports. So dito po yung Batang Pinoy, Palarong Pambansa. As you go up to the level, after Palarong, you have this Philippine National Games with CHED, tertiary, then to the elite athletes at the apex. So itong elite athletes, number 2 naming focus, kami, ang gobyerno po ang nagpapakain sa atleta, nagbigay ng dormitory, foreign exposure, plane tickets, hotels, mga opisina ng National Sports Association, Philippine Olympic Committee. Ang gobyerno po ang nagbibigay ng libre. Okay? So, yun ang perang nanggagaling, hindi po galing sa GAA, galing po sa PAGCOR. At ang tawag niyan, NSDF, National Sports, excuse me, National Sports Development Fund. So yun po. But the GAA, naka-focus lang kami dito sa budget na ito. Good na meron kaming in-step sa PAGCOR na tumutulong doon sa sports for all sa local government units, saka sa grassroots, sa DepEd and other areas. Can we proceed? Next slide. So this is the pie of the 220 budget. Halos
Chairman,
yes.
pakibalik lang po ulit sa ano muna sandali, yung kanina. Itong current natin, dahil sa SEA Games yan, di ba?
Opo.
Kaya malaki dahil of SEA Games. Itong 2018 ninyo, halos, on the proposed, halos pareho. MOEE ninyo, on the proposed ninyo, bakit malaki yung NEP nawala? So, ang tanong ko sa MOEE ninyo, forget about 2019 dahil meron tayong SEA Games.
Okay.
Itong from actual sa 2018 to NEP, itong 2020, bakit malaki, bumagsak pa kesa dun sa propose ninyo? And then itong SAGF, halos pareho. And then itong capital outlay, bakit zero nung 18, zero rin ngayon? At bakit meron nung 19?
Marley, can you participate, ED?
Itong dalawang tanong ko, MOE, bumagsak yung propose ninyo. Basihan mo na lang po yung 2018, wag na lang yung 19 dahil SEA Games yun, kaya malaki. And then itong capital outlay, bakit zero siya at bakit meron nung year ng 2019?
As far as capital outlay is concerned, Your Honor, for so many years, talaga pong wala kaming capital outlay. For the 2019 capital outlay, that is dedicated for the SEA Games po. not necessarily, not specifically for Rizal Memorial. For SEA Games
Anong
equipment, sir.
utilization ng capital outlay ninyo?
For
Yung 600
2019.
Yes, opo, yung 652. Kasi bakit hindi kailangan sa 18 at sa 20, bakit kailangan sa 19? Ano yung utilization nun?
The bulk of which are the equipments needed for the hosting of the SEA Games, Your Honor.
So, ibig sabihin, pag walang hosting tayo, hindi natin kailangan?
Yes, sad to say we were not being given capital outlay for quite some time already.
Hindi kayo binibigyan ng capital outlay. Bakit po? Hindi nyo ba kailangan?
Of course, in our proposal, we always include our proposals for capital outlay, but since we have the NSDF funds po, that's
Anong gamit nitong capital? Usually ginagamit nyo. Katulad ngayon, since 2019 tayo, anong ginagamit? Saan nyo ginagamit?
part of that would include, the bulk of which are equipments for the SEA Games hosting. Although we also have some rehabilitation works included in the budget.
Pwede nating tulungan sure sila. Baka, kasi ito sa 2020, baka pwedeng i-ano nyo na lang po, i-submit nyo. Baka kailangan nyo itong sa 2020 yung capital outlay ninyo, Chairman.
Pero Mr. Chairman, parang may budget din sila galing sa PAGCOR, PCSO. Mga magkano total niyan, Chair?
Ang PAGCOR, for the year 2019, nag-average siya ng 1.2 to 1.4, somewhere there. Kasi tumaas siya eh. Pero nung araw, yung PAGCOR namin, naglalaro lang siya ng 30, 50, 75. During this time, talagang there was an enormous increase of the budget coming from PAGCOR, for which the PAGCOR money, ang tawag NSDF, National Sports Development Fund, nakafocus po sa elite athletes and other program of the grassroots.
Yung ginagamit nyo for financial assistance,
Apo.
to mga NSAs.
Actually, nakalagay doon na 50-50 yung NSDF sa grassroots at saka elite. So, but again, kung kailangan yung isang local government na mag-host ng Batang Pinoy, palarong pambansa,
Yes.
na mandato naman namin, tumutulong po kami.
So total budget po ng PSE together with the funds from the GOCCs is about how much are you getting? about
The other GOCC is very minimal. The PCSO, horse racing, very minimal po. It's really PAGCOR that is helping us.
Sir,
Kung
magkano total?
mga less than 50,000 yung PCSO, nasa, ngayon nga lang, 1 million lang. Ang horse racing, mga minimal lang, nasa 10 million lang yata.
I'm talking about the overall boss, yung Chairman, yung together with PAGCOR.
Ang
Magkano?
PAGCOR for this year, kung aabot kami ng 1.3 billion, halos yun talaga ang pinakasentro ng namin,
Yes.
budget para sa elite and the program. Yung PCSO, National Horse Racing, halos very minimal po yun.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Ako, Mr. Chairman, just to support the budget, I'm here to support. Boss ko yan, I'm heading an NSA. Although we're the cheapest NSA kasi hindi po kami nabigyan ng budget.
How about you?
Dito sa listahan, wala yung pick-up. Wala yung pick-up dito. Ako gumagastos, Chair. Pero na yan, tumutulong na sila.
At
Para
ito,
hindi masyado mabigat sa akin.
si Senator Bato, sports enthusiast po ito, mahilig siya sa shooting. Part ba ng shooting niya?
Yes, national shooting.
Shooting, ang basketball niya, right-hand drive. Sa kanan dumadaan parati.
Pero may tuhod, muunang tuhod.
Maybe,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maybe, Chair, tapusin ko na lang yung akin para tapos na. Yung, wala pa kaming space, Chairman, sa Arnis, di ba, Philippine national sport natin yan.
Nahanapan na po kay Senator ni Attorney Iroy ng lugar sa Rizal.
Thank you,
If
thank you.
not sa Ultra.
Thank you, sir, para ma-establish na natin yung office ng Philippine Eskrima
Actually,
Arnis Cali
yung
for
ginagamit nyo po sa Rizal Memorial, katabi yung weightlifting.
years. Yes.
Doon pa rin po kayo, Senator?
Yes, we're training the athletes there now for SEA Games. Oh, sige, boss. Okay. So, yun na po. And then, maybe on the emblem, under our law, the Arnis law that we passed about a decade ago, the logo of the PSC is supposed to have at least Arnis. Nakalagay, naka-Arnis sticks yung ating logo. Baka pwedeng dagdagan na natin ang
Pinag-aralan namin, we are not
Paano kaya
violating
yun?
the law, Your Honor. Pinag-aralan lang namin, I think UP will give us
design.
a design appropriate because the logo, can you show to us the logo of Philippine Sports Commission, please?
Sorry, Chairman, kasi I'll be remiss in my duties.
Sige, sige.
Kinukulit ako ng Grandmasters.
Oh,
Alam mo lahat ng
iniisip
Grandmaster.
namin yan.
Si
For example, this
Senator
one-
Bato, Grandmaster yan. Kaya yung kanyang welcome dun, ganun
Eh,
Pugay yan Pugay.
Ito, Senator, itong logo na ito, yung naka-Y dyan, at saka tuldok, it's the youth.
Yes.
He represents for the Philippine Sports Commission with the Philippine emblem. Ako personally, I feel kung saan ko ilalagay yung dalawang
Pwede yung packet,
oo.
ganun, no?
kasi
hawak niya.
sundang man yun, Senator. So,
Ah,
iniisip namin
oo.
kung yun ang youth na ituturo namin, i-inspire namin, it can be very, very violent.
Baka
And-
rebelde dating,
Oo,
mga
kaya-
training ng artist.
Kaya na, ingat kami kung paano, without violating your law. Kaya humahanap po kami ng paano ilalagay namin yung dalawang naka-cross na emblem.
Or emblem.
Kasi kung ilagay namin dyan, mawawala na yung youth na nangangarap sa Pilipinas for good country. Kasi,
Yung pala yun.
that's my explanation. Kaya hindi namin Pero, Larry, take note of this. We will grab this opportunity sa UP kung mabigyan tayo ng mabilisang solusyon.
Design.
Tinatanong na tayo, sinisingil tayo ni Senator. We will do that, Mr. Senator.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not it's an off-budget thing. Just some trivia kasi nandun na sa batas. Of course, if it's difficult to implement, we'll understand. Oh. Yes. Yes. Kasi alam mo naman yung ating national, and I think as a national martial arts and sport ng Pilipinas, it will be front and center of the programs. Basta kami, lalaban kami sa SEA Games para sa iyo, Chairman. You're the chef de mission. You are our boss in the SEA Games. I'm happy that you're there, at least running the show. Okay na ba? Mayroon na bang cross-party reciprocity and assistance to all parties concerned sa SEA Games?
But that after so many months of conflicting directions of three organizations who are cooking the Southeast Asian Game, last month nagkakaroon po kami ng Memorandum of Agreement tripartite MOA on the provisions and duties of the three. Lately, PEC and who is wearing two hats, a chef de mission, we are taking the cudgel of so many things. Wala na kaming tulakan, wala nang PISGO, POC, PC, kundi asikasuhin talaga namin. And there are a few problems we have. We'd like to inform you that, on record that, the venues, hindi pa siya 100%. No? There are still few venues na ayusin namin. Some venues are on rentals, the contract have not yet consummated. But what is very problematic, hindi pa naman siya crisis, but pre-crisis to crisis, yung equipment na hindi pa namin nabili because this equipment was not given to us earlier. But again, I don't want to blame anybody. So, itong hinahanapan namin ng option ni Secretary Abisado sa DBM, Chairman Mike sa CUA, and Executive Secretary Mijaldia kung paano kami ma-exempt at paano kami makabili without violating the law. Kasi nakakatakot naman na after 22, puno kami ng kaso. And on this aspect, I would like to explain. Larry, can we brief the good two senators about PISGOC budgeting para magkaroon na sila na idea?
Opo. So we can help you also. I know the difficulties. We were with you day one. From day one, we were with you.
Yeah, this one. Totoo po yun. I would like to put on record that it was supposed to be Senator Subiri who was the chairman, presiding chair of the PISGOC, but something went, okay. Ito, the 6 billion budget nasa PEC and the PISGOC, the organizing committee, because POC PEC is part of PISGOC, organizing committee, yung request ng PISGO pumupunta sa PEC. At yung 56% from PISGO to PEC, then we give it to DBM procurement service. So halos almost 4 billion, 56% of the 6 billion goes to procurement service DBM. Pero request yan ng PISGO, okay, under Speaker Alan. Yun namang direct procurement, yung procurement na inandal ng PEC is 21%. Tapos mayroong mga more than 20% nasa POC. Ito ang inaayos namin na that could cover us by law. So this is the whole budget, and I would like to pitik a little that the bigger portion in the 56% DBMPS, malaki po doon yung nasa ceremonies, nasa nasa volunteers and others. So these are the things na tinitinan na namin na maayos ni ED na saan ba ito? So we have projects that procured by DBMPS 56%. Mayroong procurement nasa PEC 21%. Meron ding POCs. This is the whole budget covered. Now, without you asking, on 2005, the government spent almost 300 million. Then 200 million nasa DPWH, and there was a share of private sector, about 125 million coming from the first gentleman. So it was very minimal. Ngayon, 6 billion, because based on the vision and mission of FISGOC, na pinakamalaki, pinakamaganda, pinakamagaling na Southeast Asian Games. So, kaya nga lumaki yung budget na iyan. Now, question, with that 6 billion, can we be champion? Like 2005, where we spent only 300 to 500 million? By money cannot measure the success of a Southeast Asian game. It will still depend on the athletes. So the heart and soul of the Southeast Asian game, hindi po volunteers, it is the athletes na pinapangalagaan ng mga National Sports Association President sa SECGEN. So dito po tayo nakatutok na itong mga expenses na ito, malaki. Tapos pakita mo yung PEC. Yun, we would like to submit these things merely to the committee so that we can be transparent and they can help us that PEC is transparent for that. As a matter of fact, PEC really wanted the whole 6 billion be handled by PSDBM para wala na kaming sakit ng ulo kasi, Your Honor, we are not used to be spending billions of money, the PEC. So, but anyway, nangyari ng ganon. So, pinangalagaan namin and we confront the challenge. So, 67 days before Southeast Asian Game, as chairman and CDM, I would not go for number 2, number 3. I would go for the championship without pressuring our athletes kasi with 6 billion investment. Ang sabi naman ng presidente, hindi naman lang ang champion ang pangarap natin dyan. Good hosting, excellent hosting, security, and all other requirement of successful hosting. But ganun pa man, the PEC is under pressure that with that amount, compared to 2005, although nagbagong panahon, we still wanted to be on top of the Southeast Asian Game.
So yung mga facilities, Chair, matatapos na ba yung aquatics? I know it's already being utilized. Yung stadium natin?
Sa venues, except for the track oval and swimming pool sa New Clark City, out of 58 venues, halos 30 venues ang klaro. Yung mga 30 ginagawa ngayon, contracts, rental, changes of venues. Kasi yung FISGOC at saka National Sports Association, hindi magkasundo sa coordination. So pumapasok ang PEC para maayos yung gaps. Kasi wala naman ngayong PEC, POC, FISGOC, kundi isa na lang. So inaayos po namin to, but the biggest problem namin ngayon, yung procurement ng equipment.
Mr. Chair, maybe Senator Bato has any questions? Or kasi we only have 6 minutes to go before 3 p.m.
Wala, comment lang ako, Mr. Chair. Yung 2020 budget ninyo, comment ko lang doon, perting gamaya. Kung maintindihan ng kasamahan mo, very, maliit masyado. Yung ano kuwan lang yan, budget lang yan ng 4th class municipality. Yun lang, comment ko lang. But anyway, alam naman nyo yan kung Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Totoo po yun, Senator. Actually, magte-30 years ang PSA by January. Gumagawa kami ng paraan na yung budget talaga ng PSA, lumaki siya. Hindi po lumaki yan, duda kami dahil sa PAGCOR fund. Pero the PSA, I think, deserve a big budget for the grassroots sports program sa buong bansa.
Mr. Chair, with the huge responsibility in the hands of our chairman, who's the chef de mission and a very qualified and capable chef de mission at that, together with his very qualified team of commissioners, they are doing a yeoman's job in hosting the SEA Games at such short notice. And we must commend them, Mr. Chairman, by approving their budget on committee level without prejudice to increases made by our colleagues. Hopefully to increase your minuscule budget for 2002. We will support you, Chairman, to make sure that we can give additional budget to the PSC. So, maraming salamat. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I second the motion without thinking.
With no other senators wishing to ask questions, the budget of the Philippine Sports Commission is hereby approved on the committee level, and it is deemed submitted to the plenary. Taking into consideration the discussions today, this hearing is hereby suspended.